you know why texturing and style consistency is important in character concept development. Hi, in this video, we will discuss texturing and why style consistency is important. We will break down the various techniques of texturing and discuss the importance of style consistency. Let's begin by discussing the texturing technique. First thing first, what is texturing? Texture is the surface quality of an object. And as you may know, each object has its texture. Texture helps give a visual impression of how the object feels when we touch it. Keep in mind that texturing has a huge role in character concept development. Why? By using and drawing the right texture, we can identify the texture of the object. For example, if you compare a rock and a metal, you can see the difference in the texture of the object, where the rock has a rough texture, while the metal has a smoother texture. Before applying a texture to an object, you need to first understand how texturing works in general. Rule number 1 is shading helps the process of texturing. We can start by following this reference. We can see that the left part of the object appears bolder because of color, while the color becomes lighter while moving to the right part of the object. Now, if you notice, while looking at this object, the bold part of the object will catch your attention first. Why? Because the color appears more darker. Simply, bold color helps you focus the object point in shading.
But basically we've got a similar sort of look here where again I have a bunch of sort of texture and color grading over the top. This is an image and I always sort of mention this when I sort of show this image where again I played around with the color adjustment and a lot of those sort of textural effects. I think there was a lot of interest in some of these original shapes that I had that were part of the composition.
Now, texturing has many techniques. You can texture an object using the same line, shading, and lighting. With lines, we can determine what the texture of an object is like. A simple example is, if we want to draw a soft pillow, we can make a curved line, so it doesn't give a hard impression. Texturing through shading can be done in various ways, but for starters, you can start learning the following 5 techniques. Consists of hatching, cross-hatching, scribbling, stippling, smudging. The use of lighting must be appropriate because it will affect the texture of an object. The use of lighting techniques can be done in 2 ways, named gently and roughly. The first technique we will apply is line and shading. For this technique, I will draw a pillow. From the texture, we know that the pillow has a soft and fluffy texture. To support the 2 characteristics, we'll draw the line of the object curvy and use the hatching method for shading to give a smooth look. We can see that I use bold color in each tip point of the object to make it as a focus point, because it is the edges of the pillow and the shading gradually got lighter. After all, the light direction starts from the bottom. These are the other examples of line and shading techniques when I use an object of a rock, a wall of bricks, and a bridge. Through these examples, we can see that different usage of line and shading plays a huge role in texturing. Different than the previous other techniques, the lighting technique defines the texture of an object by following the light. In this technique, you want to highlight 2 parts of the object, which is light and shadow.
Let's return to the sun as our light source. We know that it travels in one direction and creates hard-edged shadows, or hard light. But what about on a cloudy day? There's still plenty of light, but it doesn't seem to be coming from any one particular direction, and the shadows become very soft and subtle. This is soft light, and it's the result of scattering.
This technique will highlight where the light came from, and the shadow bolder than the previous techniques. From these 2 examples, we can find the differences in the categories where the left one is applied gently and the right one is applied roughly. The rough side used fewer colors than the gentle one to create a rough texture, while the gentle side used many colors to create a smooth texture. It might seem unimportant, but the truth is, style consistency is important in the overall look of a character.
These sketches that we're doing are not for reference. You're trying to get to know your character, so you can be as careless as you want. Feel free to fail, because you may find something you like while you're doing it. Let's draw that neutral 3/4 expressions again. And don't look at the old one. Cover it with your hand or something so you don't compare them.
It helps create a harmony. Using different style in one drawing may appear in harmony and unpleasant. This is the reason why style consistency matters. Now if we analyze these two pictures, we can see that the right picture appears to be more consistent and harmonious than the left one, where on the left, I used two different styles that make the drawing appear in harmony. In conclusion, consistently using the same style will help the character look more harmonious. Now that we have learned about texturing and techniques, and why style consistency matters, in the next video, we will move on to the next section, which is lighting, rendering, and visual effects.